On this week's edition of the Engaging Marketeer, I was asked quite an interesting question today that it doesn't have an obvious answer. Somebody asked me in our engageweb.club mentor group, does it matter what time of the day it is for where you rank in Google when somebody makes a search? So, for example, if you were to search for something at 10 o'clock in the morning, would you necessarily have different results if it was 5 o'clock in the evening? And it's not that easy a question to answer, to be honest with you, because initially the answer is no, it doesn't really matter. Time of day isn't relevant for Google when you're making a search. But it's not quite that simple, because you see, if you were to make searches for your own business, so you were searching for your own company and you wanted to see where you were ranking and you were checking a particular keyword regularly throughout the day, then the more you searched for it and clicked on your own result, for example, to say, oh, look what I'm ranking, aren't I doing really well? Google is effectively going to know that that's the result you're looking for. That's what you want to see. And if you were, I don't know, for example, say you ranked at position 12 for this particular search and you did it, then you checked it again at 2 o'clock, you checked it again at 4 o'clock, you checked it again at 6 o'clock, and you kept clicking on it, Google's going to know that, oh, this is the result you want. This is what you're looking for, so I'll put it higher. And it can then appear higher, but only for you, not for other people. So you're kind of creating your own little bubble, your own little petri dish, if you like, of results where you think you're doing really well, but in fact you're not, because everyone else is seeing it naturally as it should be, where your site was ranking originally at 12. So that's the first thing. You're influencing the results. You're influencing what it appears to be by constantly searching for the same thing and clicking on it, and that can affect throughout the day. That's the first one. The other thing to think about is that Google's algorithm does change, fluctuate, update hundreds, thousands of times a day. It's constantly moving, it's constantly changing. Therefore, if you make a search early in the morning and then you make a search later in the evening, the results can and probably will be different. That's not because it's the time of day, that's because it has naturally updated. Things have changed, things have moved on. So you're not going to get the same results consistently throughout the day. But again, that's nothing to do with the time of day. However, there is a third factor which is to do with the time of day, and it's not related to Google organic search, it's related to Google paid search. So, for example, and this is really common with a lot of businesses, certainly a lot of small businesses that dabble with it, if you're doing paid search, PPC, Google Ads, formerly known as Google AdWords. I don't know why they changed it. I liked Google AdWords. But if you're doing paid search with Google Ads and you have a daily budget that is, let's say it's stretching your means, you're cautious about not overspending, so you set a very conservative, limited daily budget, and your daily budget expires before the day is out. What that means is when you're searching in the morning, or when your target clients are searching for you in the morning and they find you, if your budget runs out before the end of the day, which is quite common, then you won't be there at the end of the day. So someone else will be in your place. Therefore, the rankings will change throughout the day. And that is related to the time of day because it's as the day goes on. And you then won't appear back where you were before until the budget resets the next day. So if your budget is too tight, then yes, you'll disappear and you'll lose rankings. And that can actually have quite a negative impact on your business, because if someone is doing a search for you, say they're doing a search in work, they're looking for something, I don't know, maybe it's a mechanic or a restaurant where to eat later that night, and they do a search on their phone, you've got paid search, it appears in there, there's a bistro in Chester, that's the one I want to go to, I'm going to book that later, and then when they get home, they do a search then when they've got more time and they're not being spied upon by bosses saying, why are you using your phone in work? Now I'm going to book it. They do the search again and you're not there because your budget's run out. You were only there during the day. So when they're now ready to make the booking, they can't find you. And instead, it's a different bistro in Chester that appears because you haven't set the budget sufficiently to last throughout the day, which means you then lose the client, you lose the booking, you lose the business. So I think that kind of answers the question. It was a very interesting one posed. Posed? That's not the right word. Posed. It was a very interesting one posed on, does the time of day affect your rankings, affect where you appear in search? And I think other than the obvious answer of no, it doesn't, there are instances when it does. So I don't think I've really cleared that one up in any way, shape or form. But I hope it's been helpful, and I hope you've seen how fluid Google actually is and search engines actually are when you're searching. It's not just a cut and dried, oh, look, I'm number one in Google, that's it, job done, I can go home. Because it's going to change. It's going to change throughout the day. It's going to change throughout the week. It's going to change throughout the month. It is constantly in flux, and you cannot take your eyes off it, whether you're looking at organic search or whether you're looking at paid search. So hope that's been useful and you've enjoyed that one. I'd love you to leave me a rating, by the way, if you haven't rated this podcast already. So jump onto Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you are, and leave me a rating. I'd love to hear that. And I will catch you on the next episode of The Engaging Marketeer.